The world today is in chaos. Wars, conflicts, and political turmoil are everywhere. This noise isn't just outside, it seeps deep into our subconscious. It's like an invisible devil's frequency wrapping around us, draining our energy, destroying our inner peace. But remember, the real war isn't out there, it's within us. You don't have to lose your peace. Today I'll show you how to distance yourself from this chaos and protect your energy. Maybe you notice a subtle weight on your shoulders, or there's this quiet hum of anxiety in the background of your day. We live in a world that is louder and more chaotic than ever before. And you know, it isn't just the noise of traffic or the chatter of crowds, it's an unseen, unheard noise. The constant stream of information, the endless notifications, and the relentless cycle of global news create a persistent vibration of chaos. This constant exposure to turmoil, conflict, and negativity from around the globe seeps into our lives, often without our conscious permission. It's like a low-frequency hum that you get used to, but it slowly drains your energy and disturbs your inner peace. This invisible noise is more than just a distraction. It's a powerful force that shapes our internal environment. So, imagine your mind as a calm, clear lake. Each piece of bad news, each story of conflict, is like a stone thrown into that water, creating ripples that disturb the stillness. At first, the ripples are small and they settle quickly, but when the stones are thrown relentlessly, one after another, the lake never has a chance to become calm again. It remains in a constant state of agitation. This is what is happening to our collective consciousness and to our individual peace of mind every single day. We are being bombarded, and we often don't even realize the profound effect it has on us. Many of us go through our days feeling tired, stressed, or emotionally heavy, and we blame it on our jobs, our relationships, or our busy schedules. While those factors certainly play a role, we often overlook the significant impact of the global energetic climate. The conflicts happening thousands of miles away don't just stay there. Their energy, amplified by media and shared across digital networks, travels. It reaches us through our screens and embeds itself in our subconscious, contributing to a feeling of hopelessness or anxiety that we can't quite pinpoint. Acknowledging this connection is the first step toward reclaiming our power and protecting our inner sanctuary from the storm outside. The challenge we face is learning to navigate this chaotic world without letting it deplete us. It's about building a shelter for our inner peace, a place that remains calm and centered regardless of the external storms. This isn't about ignorance or apathy, it's about intentionality. It's about choosing what we allow into our minds and hearts. We must learn to distinguish between being informed and being inundated. We can stay aware of the world's challenges while fiercely protecting the energy we need to not only survive but also to contribute positively to the world. Our peace is our power, and it's time we learned how to guard it. Every event in the world carries an energetic signature. A celebration, a birth, or an act of kindness releases an energy of joy and hope. Conversely, global conflicts, political unrest, and human suffering emit a heavy, dense energy. This energy is not confined by geographical borders. It travels through the invisible threads that connect us all as a global community. When we tune into news reports filled with fear, anger, and despair, we are not just passively observing information, we are actively connecting with that energetic frequency. Our bodies, being sensitive instruments, can feel this weight, even if our rational minds don't fully process it. Think of it like this. If you walk into a room where an argument just took place, you can feel the tension in the air. You can't see it, but you know it's there. The atmosphere feels thick and uncomfortable. Now, imagine that feeling amplified 1,000,000 times over, and broadcast directly into your home, into the palm of your hand, 24 hours a day. This is the reality of our modern media landscape. We are constantly inviting the energetic residue of global crises into our most personal spaces. Our living rooms, our bedrooms, and ultimately our minds. This constant exposure has a cumulative effect, leaving us feeling drained, sad, or agitated. This heavy energy affects our subconscious mind in profound ways. Our subconscious is like fertile soil. It absorbs whatever it is given without judgment. When we repeatedly expose it to images of violence, stories of injustice, and narratives of fear, we are planting seeds of anxiety and helplessness. These seeds can grow into a pervasive sense of dread about the future or a cynical view of humanity. We might find ourselves feeling more irritable, less patient, or experiencing a general lack of motivation, all because our subconscious has been saturated with the low vibrational energy of world events. It is crucial to understand that this is not about being weak or overly sensitive. It's about recognizing the fundamental laws of energy. We are energetic beings living in an energetic universe. We are porous, not solid. What we expose ourselves to becomes a part of us. Acknowledging the energetic weight of global turmoil is not a call to disconnect from the world entirely. Instead, it is an invitation to become more conscious and discerning about our energetic consumption. We must learn to be gatekeepers of our own minds, protecting our inner world from the overwhelming negativity of the outer world. There is a certain frequency that thrives on chaos, fear, and division. We can call this the devil's frequency. Not in a religious sense, but as a metaphor for the destructive, low vibrational energy that seeks to pull us down. This frequency is amplified by media outlets that understand a fundamental truth about human psychology. Fear sells. News cycles are often dominated by sensational headlines, alarming statistics, and graphic imagery because it grabs our attention. This is the frequency of panic, outrage, and despair. It is designed to hijack our nervous system and keep us in a state of heightened alert, making us feel powerless and afraid. This devil's frequency operates subtly, infiltrating our subconscious mind when our defenses are down. It comes through the morning news we watch while drinking our coffee, the talk radio we listen to during our commute, or the social media feed we scroll through before bed. We think we are just staying informed, but we're actually tuning our entire being to this negative broadcast. The constant repetition of bad news normalizes a state of crisis in our minds. Our brains begin to expect and even look for threats, creating a filter through which we see the world as a dangerous and hostile place, which is a distortion of reality. The infiltration is so effective because it bypasses our conscious, critical thinking. The subconscious mind learns through repetition and emotional intensity. When we see a heartbreaking story paired with dramatic music and an urgent tone of voice, the emotional impact is stored deep within us. Over time, these stored impressions form a bedrock of anxiety. We might start to feel a generalized fear for our family's safety, a deep distrust of others, or a pervasive sense of impending doom. This isn't a rational conclusion we've reached. It's an emotional state that has been conditioned into us by our constant connection to this negative frequency. Protecting ourselves from this frequency requires conscious effort. It means recognizing when we are being manipulated by fear-based narratives. It means questioning the media we consume and asking ourselves, is this information empowering me or is it draining me? We must become vigilant guardians of our own minds. We have the power to change the channel, to turn off the noise, and to refuse to let the devil's frequency dictate our inner state. By choosing what we focus on, we can actively resist this infiltration and maintain our connection to a higher, more peaceful vibration. Many of us have developed an addiction to negative news without even realizing it. This isn't a moral failing, it's a biological one. Our brains are hardwired with a negativity bias, a survival mechanism inherited from our ancestors who needed to be hyper-aware of threats to stay alive. In today's world, media companies exploit this ancient wiring. The constant stream of alerts, breaking news banners, and clickbait headlines creates a cycle of intermittent rewards, much like a slot machine. We get a small hit of dopamine and adrenaline each time we check for an update, even if the news itself is distressing. This cycle creates a compulsive need to stay connected, a phenomenon often called doom scrolling. We feel an urge to keep scrolling through bad news, thinking that if we just get a little more information, we will feel more in control. But the opposite is true. The more we consume, the more anxious and powerless we feel, which in turn drives us to seek even more information, hoping for a resolution that never comes. We are caught in a feedback loop where the search for certainty only leads to greater anxiety. We are addicted to the very thing that is draining our life force and stealing our peace of mind. This unconscious addiction has serious consequences for our well-being. It keeps our nervous system in a constant state of fight or flight, flooding our bodies with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. This chronic stress weakens our immune system, disrupts our sleep, and impairs our cognitive function. We become more reactive, less resilient, and emotionally exhausted. We mistake this state of agitated awareness for being responsible and informed, when in reality we're just burning ourselves out. We are sacrificing our inner peace on the altar of constant, often unproductive vigilance. Breaking this addiction begins with awareness. We need to honestly observe our media consumption habits. How much time do we spend scrolling through news feeds? How do we feel afterward, energized and empowered, or drained and anxious? We must become mindful of the pull to check for updates and consciously choose to disengage. It's about setting boundaries for our own well-being. This might mean turning off notifications, scheduling specific times to check the news, or unfollowing accounts that consistently post alarming content. Reclaiming our attention is the first step to breaking free from the addictive cycle of negativity. The price we pay for being perpetually plugged into the world's chaos is steep, and it is most often paid with our vitality and peace. The constant influx of negative information directly fuels anxiety. Our minds, unable to differentiate between a threat on a screen and a threat in our immediate environment, react as if we are personally in danger. This sustained state of high alert is incredibly taxing on our entire system. It's like keeping an engine running in the red zone for hours on end. Eventually, it will break down. This is why so many of us feel a pervasive sense of exhaustion that no amount of sleep seems to cure. This exhaustion is not just physical, it is deeply emotional and spiritual. When we are constantly bombarded with stories of suffering, injustice, and conflict, it can lead to a state of compassion fatigue. Our hearts, in an attempt to protect themselves, can begin to numb out. We may feel emotionally detached, cynical, or hopeless. This is a defense mechanism, but it disconnects us from our own humanity and from our capacity for joy, empathy, and connection. The vitality that comes from an open, engaged heart begins to diminish, replaced by a heavy cloak of weariness and resignation. We lose our spark. Furthermore, this state of chronic anxiety and exhaustion shrinks our world. When we are operating from a place of fear, our focus narrows to self-preservation. We become less creative, less spontaneous, and less willing to take healthy risks. Our primary goal becomes simply getting through the day. Ambitions, dreams, and passions take a back seat to managing our anxiety. The beautiful, expansive potential of our lives becomes constrained by the need to cope with the overwhelming negativity we are absorbing. We are not living. We are just surviving the constant onslaught of perceived threats. It is essential to recognize that this anxiety and exhaustion are not personal failings. They are a logical response to an unhealthy environment. The solution is not to tough it out, but to change the environment, our informational and energetic environment. We must acknowledge the toll that the world's chaos is taking on us and make a conscious decision to prioritize our well-being. We have to understand that our energy is a finite and precious resource. We cannot pour from an empty cup, and we certainly cannot contribute positively to the world if we are completely drained and overwhelmed by its problems. In the midst of all this external chaos, it's easy to feel like a victim of circumstance, tossed about by the relentless waves of global events. But here is a profound truth. You are not a passive recipient of the world's energy. You are a sovereign being with the power to choose your own frequency. Just as a radio can be tuned to different stations, you can consciously tune your own mind and energy to a frequency of peace, love, and joy, even when the world around you is broadcasting chaos. This is not about denying reality, it is about choosing which reality you inhabit internally. Your power lies in your focus. Whatever you give your attention to, you give your energy to. When you constantly focus on conflict, fear, and negativity, you are aligning yourself with that frequency. Your thoughts, emotions, and even your physical body begin to resonate with that vibration. However, when you deliberately shift your focus to things that are positive, uplifting, and beautiful, you begin to tune into a different frequency. You start to resonate with peace. This is the ultimate act of personal power. reclaiming your attention and directing it intentionally toward what nourishes your soul. Choosing your frequency is a moment-by-moment practice. It happens when you decide to turn off the news and listen to inspiring music instead. It happens when you choose to put down your phone and have a heartfelt conversation with a loved one. It happens when you consciously decide to look for the good in the world, to notice the acts of kindness, the resilience of the human spirit, and the beauty of nature. Each of these small choices is a declaration of your energetic sovereignty. You are telling the universe and yourself that you will not allow external chaos to dictate your internal state. This does not mean you will become immune to the world's suffering. You will still feel empathy and compassion. The difference is that you will be engaging with the world from a place of strength and centeredness, rather than from a place of fear and reactivity. By maintaining your own high frequency, you become a source of positive energy in the world. You become a lighthouse in the storm, offering a beacon of calm and hope to others. Your choice to cultivate inner peace is not a selfish act. It is a gift to everyone around you and to the world at large. Choosing your frequency is a beautiful concept, but it requires practical application. We must build daily habits that anchor us in a state of peace. One of the most powerful ways to do this is by spending quality time with family and loved ones. True deep connection with people who make you feel safe and loved is a powerful antidote to the world's negativity. Put away the phones, look each other in the eye, and share your hearts. These moments of genuine human connection generate a powerful, high vibrational energy that can recharge your spirit and remind you of what truly matters in life. Another essential practice is to immerse yourself in nature. The natural world operates on a frequency of harmony and peace. Go for a walk in the woods, sit by a lake, or simply tend to the plants on your windowsill. Feel the earth beneath your feet, listen to the sound of the wind in the trees, and observe the intricate beauty of a flower. Nature has a remarkable ability to ground us, to pull the anxious energy out of our bodies, and to restore our sense of perspective. It reminds us that we are part of a much larger, more ancient rhythm than the frantic pace of the modern world. Engaging in hobbies and creative pursuits is also a vital way to raise your vibration. What did you love to do as a child? What makes you lose track of time? Whether it's painting, playing an instrument, gardening, cooking, or building something with your hands, these activities shift you into a state of flow. In this state, your mind quiets down and you become a channel for creative energy. This is a form of active meditation that fills you with a sense of purpose and joy, effectively crowding out anxiety and fear. Make time for play. It is not an indulgence, but a necessity for a healthy soul. Protecting your inner peace is not a one-time decision. It is an ongoing commitment. It is a daily practice of choosing to raise your vibration. Think of your energetic state like a garden. If you neglect it, weeds of fear, anxiety, and resentment will quickly take over. But if you tend to it with care, by planting seeds of gratitude, watering it with positive thoughts, and pulling out the weeds of negativity, you can cultivate a beautiful, thriving inner landscape. This requires diligence and self-awareness. It means consistently choosing the thoughts, activities, and environments that lift you up. Raising your vibration involves being mindful of everything you consume, not just the food you eat, but the information you absorb, the conversations you engage in, and the music you listen to. Ask yourself, does this nourish me? Does this raise my energy or lower it? Make conscious choices to surround yourself with positivity. Listen to uplifting podcasts, read inspiring books, and spend time with people who radiate joy and kindness. Every choice you make is either an investment in your peace or a withdrawal from it. Choose to invest in yourself. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for instantly raising your vibration. When you are feeling weighed down by the world, take a moment to shift your focus to what you are grateful for. It can be as simple as the warmth of the sun on your skin, the taste of your morning tea, or the smile of a stranger. Gratitude shifts your perspective from lack to abundance, from fear to love. It is impossible to feel anxious and grateful at the same time. Making gratitude a daily practice, perhaps by keeping a gratitude journal, can fundamentally transform your energetic baseline from one of stress to one of appreciation. Ultimately, this commitment to your peace is about taking radical responsibility for your own happiness and well-being. It is about understanding that while you cannot control the world, you have absolute control over your response to it. By choosing to cultivate a high vibration, you not only transform your own life, but you also contribute to the healing of the world. Your peaceful energy ripples out and touches everyone you interact with. You become a force for good, a living demonstration that peace is possible even in the midst of chaos. Your peace is your purpose. In a world that profits from your fear and distraction, choosing to protect your energy is a radical act. It is a declaration of independence from the systems that seek to keep you in a low vibrational state of anxiety and powerlessness. It is you standing firm in your center and saying, "My inner peace is not for sale. My energy is not for consumption." This is not an act of selfishness or avoidance. It is an act of profound courage and wisdom. It is the foundation from which all meaningful change, both personal and collective, can arise. Your energy is your most precious currency. It is the fuel for your dreams, the source of your creativity, and the essence of your connection to life. When you allow it to be drained by constant negativity, you are giving away your power. By consciously protecting and cultivating your energy, you reclaim that power. You become the creator of your reality rather than a reactor to it. You start to show up in the world as a more present, compassionate, and effective human being. You can support others more deeply, solve problems more creatively, and love more openly when you are operating from a full cup. Let this be your invitation to become a guardian of your inner sanctuary. Build walls not of ignorance, but of discernment. Install a filter not of censorship, but of conscious choice. Nurture your inner world with the same dedication you might give to your physical health or your career. Your peace of mind is the ultimate measure of your wealth. Let go of the need to know everything, to react to everything, to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Your greatest contribution to the world is not your anxiety, but your peace. So I want to ask you, and I invite you to reflect on this deeply. Have you noticed how the constant stream of global news and world events affects your energy and your inner peace? What are the subtle ways that you feel its weight in your daily life? More importantly, what is one small intentional step you can take today to protect your energy and tune into your own frequency of calm? I would love for you to share your experiences and insights. Your journey can inspire others to begin their own. Let's start this conversation and support each other in this radical act of protecting our peace.